Your turn to ban.
Welcome to another cast by GilgaGaming. We're just gonna hop right into it, folks. I'm gonna try and do a little bit better this game on not kind of like fumbling over myself. The last cast I felt okay about, but I felt like I would sometimes kind of like pause for a second because I was trying to say too many things at once. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit better on that. Maybe speak a little bit more slowly. Until it gets to like the really chaotic moments where I think that it would be, you know, once I start casting more, one of those things where I kind of like saying the team fight really quickly as it happens. But gonna try and do a better job of making it seem a little bit more smooth. So work in progress, but hopefully I can do a little bit better of a job for you guys. So starting off with the picks, we are starting with a Warlock first pick. I actually personally really love this hero. I think that it's kind of hard to play the hero. Even though I do love the hero, it doesn't necessarily mean I think it's good. It is unfortunate that he is kind of a product of the meta, in the sense that he's not that strong in lane. So it's kind of difficult to get through a laning phase where you're not bullied. So we'll see how they kind of work with that. Dire Team is going to follow it up with a Grimstroke Ogre Magi, or Ogre Magi, however you want to say it. Very strong picks. You can run the Ogre as an offlaner or as another support. Fire Blast into Soulbind will be very strong if they can get that off. And then Bloodlust is just an overall insanely strong spell. Radiant coming back and picking a Nature's Prophet. I'll be interested to see if they run this as a support or if they run it as an offlaner. I personally think that Nature's Prophet as a 5 is insanely good. But I don't know how well Warlock would work as a 4, so let's see what they do with that. They're going to end up going with their Invoker, so picking their, what I would presume to be their mid laner quite early. And Dire's going to follow that up with an Elder Titan, excuse me. So that, to me, signals that it's going to be an offlane Ogre Magi, and it will be a dual support Grimstroke Elder Titan. Elder Titan not the most synergistic with Grimstroke, but I think that it is a very strong hero right now. A lot of power in the early game with his spirit, so they're also going to couple it up with a Dragonite to face the Invoker mid. Very stable in lane, will be very hard to kill that Dragonite as Invoker. Invoker's one of those heroes that once he gets a couple of levels up in his Exhort, really starts just bullying you out of lane, really making it very difficult for you to get last hits, but I think Dragonite will be okay with that. Radiant is going to come back and pick a Lifestealer, not a hero that's really fallen off the radar, surprisingly so. I think that the hero is quite good, but not picked that much anymore. They're going to finish off their team with Tusk. So it looks like it is going to be an offlane Furion. And they are going to go with an Anti-Mage last pick for the Dire team. So I think that both teams have quite good lineups. I think that Dire team picked very good heroes to make space for Anti-Mage. Dragonite is one of those heroes that can push your towers down very quickly. And they have a lot of early game team fighting with Grimstroke, Ogre Magi, DK, just by themselves are very strong together. I mean, if you have Soulbind and a Dragon Tail, that's 2 heroes disabled for, you know, 3 seconds. I mean, so, and that's not accounting for the addition of, you know, Elder Titan and everything like that. So I think that it is going to be a good game from both sides here. Dire's pretty much main objective is let's try and open up the map as much as we can for our Anti-Mage and then have him carry us home. Radiant team, meanwhile, has a very strong, very strong early mid game. They're going to have the key to the game for the Radiant team, in my opinion, is going to be the Nature's Prophet rotations. Is he going to rotate mid lane on top of a Cold Snap by Invoker? You can even couple that with a Snowball in from Tusk, doing his tag team as well. I think that would be very strong. Tusk is very powerful in the meta right now with tag team, a very strong spell. And Lifestealer will be very hard for the Dire team to kill. Very tanky as is, being a strength hero. But also just the heroes that the Dire team has, they don't have an easy way to kill him until later in the game if the DK gets a blink dagger, and he is able to blink just right on top of him and stun him so he can't get the rage off in time. That's going to be the way they kill him. They blink stun, the lifestealer followed up with anti-mage blinking in and getting like a manta on him and with a mana void. If they can do that, they have ways to kill the lifestealer. Other than that, it will be very difficult. Meanwhile, we do have a lot of damage coming off onto the Grimstroke here by the tag team. It's not going to be quite enough, I don't believe so. Let's go ahead and switch just a few cameras so I can kind of move around here for you guys. We'll get this going for you. A lot of damage coming up, but it's not going to be enough. He does salve up, but it looks like he is going to cancel the salve a little bit early, keep him at about half health, but he does need to be careful. There is another tag team up, so if he can get another hit in, he might be in trouble. 303 move speed versus 297. I think he's just going to push him back and just really be a nuisance to him, but I don't think he ends up getting that kill. Anti-Mage will, I think, struggle in this lane if the Nature's Prophet knows how to use his treants correctly. Very strong laner, and, I mean, you can already see he's already down to half health. Only has the Tangos, not a salve, so that might be an issue for him if he gets too low. Yeah, and Furion already asserting his dominance right now in that lane. D-Ward coming out for the Ogre, that is big for them, making sure they don't have any of that vision. That's what I'm saying, the Elder Titan is just able to trade hits with a lifesteal, and you don't want that. Same thing with an Ogre. I mean, this dude is rocking 8 armor, telling him, hey, hit me if you want, I don't give a shit. I'm going to hit you twice as hard. Top lane still going incredibly well for that team. Looks like there might be an initiation on the bottom lane. Titan is going to smack the living daylights out of this Warlock. Do you really think a Fairy Fire is going to save you? No, sir, I do not think so. First blood coming out for that Elder Titan, and they're going to be able to do that constantly. I mean, they have so much harass coming out from Ignite, Fire Blast, the Elder Titan using his Spirit. And it looks like it might actually be a support Ogre. Elder Titan's getting a lot of these last hits right now. So interesting to see them going for a core Elder Titan instead. We'll see kind of how he itemizes a little later on. Meanwhile, mid lane, it looks like Dragon Knight is kind of taking advantage of the matchup that he has. Very strong even against the Invoker. Goes the Soul Ring, that way he can secure his last hits even through EMP if he goes that. But it looks like he is going Quas Exhort. But he is rocking 9 and 4 CS right now versus the about 6 and 1 from Invoker. I believe once he gets a couple more levels up, he will kind of even that out. But right now, DK is doing a good job of kind of getting his small lead up. We do see a little bit of damage coming out onto the Ogre, but look, I mean, he's just literally taking no damage. That 8 armor is absolutely bonkers. Tag team coming out from the Tusk. He is going to get the Shards block on him, and this might be a dead Grimstroke. Inkswell is going to do his best. Move speed is going to get him a little further, and there's no mana on this Nature's Prophet. And now he's tanking tower hits. He might be dead now. I think he's gone a little bit too far, and this is not what you want to do against an anti-mage, giving him an early kill. Sunstrike does finish him off. Well done by the Invoker, and the Nature's Prophet is going to salve up to not die from the anti-mage. So they end up making it work out. Probably could have been a little bit cleaner, but if they're going to get the kill and not lose anyone in return, I mean, you can't be too disappointed there. Invoker going very far to the right to try and dodge that. Breathe Fire and still gets clipped by it. Oh, goodness. A lot of heroes low on the Dire offline right now. Ogre takes another... What is this spell called? Shadow Word. Guys, I am so sorry. You know, there's a lot of spells in this game. Trying to keep track of all of them. You win some, you lose some, right? Almost falling down. I mean, this Ogre is really pushing his limits. I don't know if he's trying to stay down here all the way until the 5-minute. And I just missed. Okay, I was about to say, if that is a solo kill, that's got to be disappointing. But it looks like it was a snowball into a tag team with a cold snap. And that's what I was saying earlier. If they can, their key for the Radiant team is going to be the Nature's Prophet. But I also said the Tusk as well, coming in middle lane with a snowball with that tag team. And it looks like that's exactly what they needed to bring him down. And that's good because the more levels that he gets, the harder it is going to be to get that kill on him. So good to get the kill on him while they could. Another kill going top, and I am just missing kills all over the place. Looks like Grimstroke fell just to the harass that... just the raw harass output that they do have up here with the Tusk and the Furion, and he is going to return back to base with that teleport, regen up so he can come right back to lane with the TP. Ignite is going to come out on both of them bottom lane, getting a little bit of chip damage. We do see another tag team from the Tusk, but he is getting low, but no mana to burn, so the damage is going to be quite minimal for the anti-mage. So a lot of damage right now onto that Elder Titan, plus 105. I mean, he is hitting like a big boy. Even though he did die earlier, the DK still asserting his dominance in the mid lane, almost doubling up the Invoker CS. I would want to think that the Invoker should do a little better than this, but I mean, more power to him. He's rocking 30 and 10 versus Invoker 17 and 3. That's got to feel a little bit bad. Inkmage copping a little bit of damage from the tower and the Nature's Prophet, but he will blink away, excuse me. Looking at the net worth just real quick in the early game, while they might set up for a kill on this DK, will they have enough? He is at this point level 6, so it will be a lot tougher. There is the Cold Snap into the Meteor with the tag team, already down to about a 30 HP. There's the Sunstrike, uses the Breed Fire, dodges the Sunstrike, well done by him, but it is still going to be enough. It was a good attempt by him, lived a very long time, but they do end up still getting the kill. The Cold Snap into the Chaos Meteor really doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there is a Fire Blast coming out onto the Lifestealer. He is trying to man up with his Rage going on. The Ogre's very low, but the 8 armor really keeping him alive. And meanwhile, the turnaround from the other Titan just smacking him down with that Stapler. He's like, I went to FedEx, bitch. I know how to play this game. And cancels his TP from the Sprout, thinking I might be able to get another kill. Meanwhile, the Fatal Bonds does finish off the Ogre in the background. Inkswell coming out, not going to be enough to quite get there. It will be interesting to see if he still chases this on. Sprout comes out as well, getting low. He might want to watch out for the damage coming out from the Stroke of Fate, and they will end up trading each other's lives. Probably could have lived there, Furion, in my opinion, but he might have just been like, you know, I'm happy getting that kill. Let me go back to base. I teleported in here. I don't want to waste my TP going back to base afterward. Another open wounds coming out under the Elder Titan, and they're just gonna turn and just smack the living shit out of that Warlock. Oh my goodness. And kind of going back to what I was saying in the draft, that Warlock, even though I love that hero, just struggling to find kind of any momentum, you know, with the laning stage. He's very easily bullied. Another open wounds coming out bottom lane. Ogre went a little bit too far and does fall in the end to Lifestealer. It's good for him to kind of make up the advantage. Seeing if this anti-mage is bringing himself a salve. He did not. He only has a ring of health. So they might be able to kill him if he goes a little bit too far. Tag team coming out. Inkswell as well to retaliate. Anti-mage blinks away. Stroke of Fate to couple up with the Inkswell. Sprout does come out, and there's a Sunstrike, and it will, I don't know if that actually hit. I think it barely missed. Anti-Mage might get... Oh, another Stroke of Fate is going to miss, and Anti-Mage? I have no words, guys. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it was off cooldown right until he died. Otherwise, that should not happen. This Warlock is in trouble. Once again, he uses Shadow Word on himself, but he is... Dude, that Stapler is just like... Man, he brought his school supplies to this game. And after a couple levels, Invoker is now on top with the net worth. Snowball is going to miss. And that gank attempt was not the cleanest. But Invoker has recovered quite nicely, was down by about half the CS of the DK, and is now on top net worth by 400 gold. It has been really good for him to be able to get a lot of the kills and assists with that Sunstrike. That has been great for him to kind of recover. This bottom lane is just back and forth damage. I know there's another kill coming out bottom, but I think he is going to live. We're going to focus on bottom lane with the Stapler. A lot of damage coming out onto the Ogre as well. And Deafening Blast does come out. I'm trying to watch these two fights at once. It looks like no one's going to die. Bottom lane, I think he is going to fall to the next open wounds. Getting very low. And they're both going to die to the Fatal Bonds. Oh, that feels bad for them. Nature's Prophet coming in might have helped them get that kill. No one ends up falling middle, though, in the meantime. But Nature's Prophet, after the first couple levels, has done a good job of rotating and helping out with these kills. Might have gotten an assist on one of those kills bottom lane. If so, that was very good for him. Take a look at the kills right now. Tusk is rocking 0, 0, and 5. Doing his best supporting job that he can. DK, those treants are going to outrun you, my friend. You are not going to catch those. Warlock actually rocking 2, 3, and 2, so not as bad as it could be for him. He actually is above both the Ogre and the Grimstroke in terms of net worth, but not by too much. Invoker 3 and 0, big reason why he is on top of the net worth, which is really huge for him. Another Shard block going to come out with the tag team and the Fury on there. The Sprout block as well with the Cold Snap and the Meteor. And the Walrus Punch is just bad-mannered to kill him there. A Raffle coming out from DK, but I think everyone's laughing at you, bud. Runes do come out, and the Warlock's probably going to fall again. The Sprout to keep the Elder Titan from going in. Cuts through the trees, and I don't know why you're going back there. Warlock, the Phantom comes out and he tries to salve, I think, there, but he is going to pop the Shrine here. Might end up living. He doesn't. The Phantom actually ends up killing him. The Snowball comes in from the Tusk with the tag team, gets a Sprout block up on the Elder Titan, but I don't think he's going to be able to get this kill. He's the only one there. He is going to do his darndest to make him... He's going to try. I mean, he Walrus Punch with the tag team to slow him down just enough for that Sunstrike. I mean, I don't think that he gets that Sunstrike to hit unless he gets this low from that tag team. A little bit of a small play, making a huge play out of a small play. How's Anti-Mage doing up here? Pretty much right at the same net worth as Furion, which is actually pretty good considering how good Furion is in lane. So that's pretty good for him. I think that Dire team still has a good chance of just kind of keeping this game alive until the Anti-Mage gets big. But Radiant has done a good job of doing their rotations, getting the kills on the DK where they needed to. I mean, they've gotten how many kills on this DK now? 3 kills on him? I mean, that's absolutely humongous for them to be able to keep him in check, make sure that he doesn't snowball this game. He's going to finish off this mid-tier 1 tower, which is going to make a lot of space on the map for the Dire team, so that is very good for them. See if he rotates. He just popped the Dragon form, so I'll be curious to see if he tries to use this to rotate to any of the side lanes to push down those towers as well, given that they've already lost the tier 1 tower top lane, and so the Radiant team has a very, very large access to the Dire team jungle, which is really where Anti-Mage is going to want to stay right now. So will be interesting to see how much they push the Anti-Mage out of his comfort zone from his own jungle, considering that he does not have that tower as protection anymore. But it will be also good to see if the DK kind of makes that equal. It looks like we have Furion possibly making a play here on the bottom lane, on the Ogre. Sprout does come out to block him out. Sunstrike as well on top of it. Gets him down to about 1 more hit of HP. They do finish him off the Shard block, excuse me, blocks onto the Elder Titan. The tag team doing so much work, and he will end up falling. Great couple kills for the Radiant team, and I think that will translate to a push on that bottom tier 1 tower for the Radiant team. I think that this is where DK is kind of wanting to equal that. He does have an Invis rune, so they might be trying to bait out the Anti-Mage by him pushing out this tier 1 tower top lane, but the tier 1 tower bottom lane is going to probably die a lot faster, and I think they're going to have time to rotate even with this Invis rune. Furion does try and TP in to kind of push it off, and he might have put himself in a bad position with this DK coming in. No Dragon form to get the ranged stun off. Blinking aggressively from the AM, but he jukes up to the top. Sprout block as well to make sure he can't go through it. Throws out a Nature's Wrath and Tree Ants, and he is just playing with them at this point. Tusk does fall bottom lane, and I think the Nature's probably is going to fall, but he made them work for it. A lot of damage coming out bottom lane. We do see the Rage coming out after the Soulbind ends. The Warlock will fall as a sacrificial lamb, but they do get the tower with the Golem, so good play by the Warlock, even though he falls there to micro his Golem to be able to finish off that tower and not have it denied. Making a big play with a small play. See, this is going to be it's a Gilga special. Anti-Mage still far off from the Battle Fury. That's probably going to be, I would say, about an 18-minute Battle Fury. That's my prediction. 18 minutes. Furion is coming on to try and defend this bottom tower, but they have Dragon Form up again. Warlock TP's in way too forward. That is going to be a dead Warlock very quick. While Snowball in the background and a Walrus Punch onto the Grimstroke in the background, but the fight is so split. The Nature's Prophet is falling, and the Radiant team is crumbling. The Chaos Meteor with the Deafening Blast coming out. Great combo by the Invoker. Elder Titan's going to fall. Fire Blast does come off to try and stop him, and this Dragonite is trying to finish off the Lifestealer, but I don't think he's going to get it. Snowball is going to come out any second now, trying to save the Lifestealer, and they are going to man-fight Tornado to finish off the DK as well. And that is a fantastic fight for the Radiant team. Was looking very good for them until that Invoker TP'd into town, saying, "This is my house. Get the fuck out of here." And they almost team wiped them. I mean, Anti-Mage is going to do his thing. And it does hurt that it's going to be a slow Battle Fury.
But I'm worth so much more. Got it.
Another fight coming out top lane. Inkswell does stun the Furion with the Stroke of Fate. Mana Void does come out. Nature's Prophet does finish off the Grimstroke with those Treants before he falls. Another kill bottom lane on the other Titan from the Invoker. Looks like it was a Sunstrike from afar with the Shard Block. I would assume with the tag team. Even, man, tag team plus open wounds, that's a slow motherfucker right there. Dragon Knight, it is, I'm not going to agree with this item choice. He's going Sanjin Yasha first, and I don't like that. I think that a Blink Dagger would do a lot better for him. I mean, this Invoker is just absolutely styling on them right now, and if they don't have a way to get on him right now. I mean, how do you get on top of this Invoker? I mean, he already has his Ags up. He actually went for the Midas. He's going to go a 4-stop next. So anyone that he Dragon Tails is going to be able to be pushed away. And I just don't see how you get into the Invoker's face. Dragon Form with the Dragon Tail onto the Tusk, but they're going to see a Golem in response with the Snowball Wall response onto the Grimstroke. Soulbind does come out, and it is locking him onto the Golem. Elder Titan comes in, smacks the Warlock to death with the Stapler, and they're going to man up on this Tusk, finish him off with the Fire Blast, and clean up the Golem as well. And I think they're going to try and translate this into finishing off the Tier 1 tower. Never mind, it looks like the Dragon Knight is just wanting to farm instead. How low did they get this Tier 1 tower earlier? Only about 2/3, okay. Maybe not. I mean, it is a fresh Dragon form. I'd at least want to get an attack or two on that tower to get it down a little bit lower. Let's look at the items coming out here. Ogre has gotten his Mana Boots. Curious to see if he goes like an Aethelins next, or 4-staff, anything like that. Elder Titan did go a Vlad's first item, and it looks like he's just trying to give his team as many ores as possible. Meanwhile, Fire Blast does come out onto the Lifestealer, but he does have his armlet up. Sunstrike comes out, is going to whiff completely Inkswell to kind of push him away. Meanwhile, in the background, Elder Titan is locked by the Sprout. Tower does go down in the meantime to the Dragon Knight. Wrath of Nature comes out with the Stroke of Fate to finish off the Furion. They will lose Elder Titan in return, and we'll be curious to see if this Grimstroke is able to get out. He does not have a TP. Gets the Phantom off to make sure he can't open wounds him, but he is still going to fall to the Lifestealer's raw damage output there. So going back to the items, Tusk does have a medallion and an urn. We do see Warlock, poor boy, just with wards and a set of arcane boots, kind of the same as the Ogre. Lifestealer has finished his armlet, rocking the 2 bracers there with his phase boots, and it looks like he will be going back for a Sanjin Yasha to be his secondary item on top of the armlet. Almost in the inventory of Dragon Knight will be the Sanjin Yasha on his side. Looks like he has it, not quite buying it yet. We'll see if that ends up paying dividends to him. I still think a Blink would have been better for him. And Anti-Mage did get his Battle Fury a little bit sooner than my prediction. I said 18 minutes. It's almost there now, but he's already farmed 500 gold, so I'd say that he got it probably around 17 minutes, so kudos to him. Other than that, we do see Invoker, still just the Ags and the Midas. We see a first item Orchid on the Furion. I love that item pickup. If he can get a kill onto the Anti-Mage before he gets his Manta style, then that would be very, very good for them. So looking out for that play. He is going to be going for a Shadow Blade by the looks of it. And then we are finished with the item updates. Long pause coming out and kind of just checking on the net worth now. Looks like Anti-Mage has gotten on top now with the Battle Fury. So Dire has made a little bit of space for him. They are losing 24 to 15 in kills, but you can tell they are only winning by about 1,000 gold. So Anti-Mage is starting to make his presence be felt. And in about probably 5 minutes, he's going to have that Manta style online, maybe even sooner. So that's going to be a big problem for the Radiant team. I do hear an Orchid on the background. This is what I'm talking about. Automatically getting the Orchid off onto the Anti-Mage, but I don't think it is going to be quite enough. Gets down to about a 4th HP. Open Wounds does come out. Elder Titan is going to save his Anti-Mage. The mistimes it with the Rage, but they are going to back off anyway. So first Orchid showing doesn't result in a kill on the Anti-Mage, which kind of hurts. Ignite does come out. He sprouts himself, but on the Elder Titan. He gets pushed out of it somehow, but not going to die. We do see a Dragon Tail coming out onto the Lifestealer as well, and he should fall here. Trying to Armlet toggle his way out, but that is not going to work. And this Lifestealer is hurting. I mean, he is low on the net worth. I mean, he's almost at 7,000. I mean, the Elder Titan's above him at this point. So, I mean, that is looking like trouble for the Radiant team. I mean, you're a Lifestealer, and... okay, Warlock's AFK. Okay. Alright. Question mark comes out, and I kind of agree with that. Not even a BM question mark. I'm legit wondering what happened there. And they're gonna go uphill. I mean, why not? They have an Anti-Mage who's leading the net worth right now, and they have Dragon Form, and I mean, this might be a dead tier 3. And it looks like it will be. We do see a Wrath of Nature coming out. Tornado as well, which is going to completely negate the Snowball. There's the Chaos Meteor Deafening Blast, which is doing a lot of damage. Elder Titan ulti on top. DK looks to try and TP out in front of the face, but Cold Snap is going to cancel that out. He should fall, but here comes the Anti-Mage. He still has his Mana Void. He's going to throw it out. The Ice Wall is slowing him down, and it's going to slow them. The Dragon Knight does fall. Godlike Streak coming out for the Invoker. He is silenced from the Orchid. The Snowball's going to come on. Is he going to be able to blink away in time? He does not. He uses the Spell Shield, but it will not be in time. And the Anti-Mage does fall, so quite a good turnaround by the Radiant team. Killing off 4 heroes there. They do get the tier 3 tower, so that opens up the shrines for the Dire team, which is quite good for them. Radiant is going to try and do a response push here. Maybe get a tier 2 tower. But Anti-Mage is going to have his Manta Style very soon, and it will be interesting to see kind of where they go from there. We're going to see another Snowball onto this Elder Titan with the Shards block and the Sunstrike on top, which is going to finish him off. I don't know what the Inkswell was happening on the background with that Grimstroke. Sprout does move, so he should be able to get out. They do fortify the tier 2 tower just before it falls. They are trying to find this Ogre. Shards will block him off just a tiny bit, and the Urn thrown out, he should be able to get away. I mean, they are chasing this. All they need is an open wounds, and there's the Nature's Prophet teleporting in with the Orchid on top of him. Here comes Anti-Mage in response, though. Fatal Bombs on top with the Golem by the Warlock, and that guy is getting very low. Sunstrike, will it hit and kill him? He does nail it. We do see a Soulbind on the top with the Dragon Form coming out from the DK. The Grimstroke will fall in the end, and this Dragon is fighting 3v1 right now. Might finish off the Tusk. Tornado comes out to try and save him with the Deafening Blast, but he will finish off the Tusk before he falls with that Breathe Fire. Dire team lose 4 again, so Radiant making a lot of plays right now. I mean, Anti-Mage went into that fight. He was about 50 gold, about 100 gold rather, away from getting his Manta. Goes into a fight anyway, and dies without buying it again. I mean, he lost 300 gold since we last checked in with him. Alacrity coming out onto the Lifestealer, and they're going to get a return tier 3 tower. 2 buybacks coming out. There's the Elder Titan ulti. It's going to miss on everyone. Doesn't do the sleeping beforehand. 3-man Stomp coming out. Do they follow this up? No, they do not. Breathe Fire does come out. Elder Titan's coming in, but the Tornado on 4 heroes, and they're going to disengage. The Phantom will not proc on him. Another Stroke of Fate, which does get him low, but they don't have any detection. The Dire don't have any detection, and the Invoker gets away. Oh, it hurts my soul. That would have been like 1,500 gold. Anti-Mage almost finds them with that blink. Does have Mana Void, so I guess he was just a little bit too slow. Man, Radiant has really turned this around real quick. I mean, they got angry at losing that tier 3 tower top lane. Since that happened, I mean, they lost one fight, lost their tier 3 tower, and since then it's been an 8,000 gold swing on the Radiant's team side. I mean, goodness gracious. I will say one thing, the Invoker has been doing a work. I mean, I've seen so many Chaos Meteor Deafening Blast combos. Meanwhile, top lane, Stapler Boy is going to go down to the tag team, and the Orchid coming out from the Furion. DK is going to try and defend this tier 2 tower top lane, but I think that is a lost cause. An Ignite coming out as well. trying to slow down the push as much as you can. Tornado from the Invoker onto the Ogre, quite low, but he has a haste rune. He's going for some bigger fish to fry. Won't find anyone. And looks like the Ogre will kind of go away as well. Antimate's trying his best to split push. He will get that tier 2 tower bottom lane. But top tower is falling in the meantime. The tier 3 tower top lane is falling in the meantime. Stroke of Fate and Breathe Fire does get the Lifestealer to about half HP. And Antimage is going to start hitting on the tier 3 tower now. Lifestealer is at about a third HP. He does not have an Aegis, and he is just going to Rage TP out. Meanwhile, the Invoker does get Dragon-tailed. And this might be a kill. Phantom on top with the Soulbind, and will they finally get the kill? And that is about 900 gold going the way of the Dire team. They are probably going to kill the Nature's Prophet as well. They do with the Dragon Tail help. Invoker does buy back, trying to help out killing this Anti-Mage. And I don't think they are going to finish him out unless they get the Orchid with the buyback from the Nature's Prophet. But he ends up blinking bottom. Even I got juked by that one. They do have the scan right where he blinks out, but it's a little bit too late. I mean, that's a huge win for the Dire team. I mean, they lose their tier 3 tower top lane, but Furion gets the tier 2 bottom. He forces the Furion and the Invoker to buy back, and he gets away without dying. I mean, and that puts it back down to a 1k gold lead. This game is quite back and forth so far. I mean, anyone could win this game at this point. The Dire do have a win condition now, where Invoker and Furion are without buybacks for the next few minutes. So if they can win another fight, I mean, that very well might be game. So look for Radiant to try and get a pick off and then transition that into a Roche onto that Invoker is what I would try and suggest. Look for updates on items. Once again, we do see Furion with the Shadow Blade up now. Looks like he is trying to transition that into a Silver Edge. We do see Lifestealer with a Sanjin Yasha as well, looking to get a Deso next. Very good dodge on the stomp by the Tusk, just sidestepping it. We do see a Fire Blast onto the Lifestealer there. Stapler Boy is getting turned on like a motherfucker. Orca does come out on him. He might fall in the end to the Fatal Bonds onto 4 heroes. Chaos Golem does come out. We are seeing a Deafening Blast onto the Anti-Mage, trying his best, but he is disarmed. He does blink away. Snowball onto the backline, onto the Grimstroke, is going to finish him off. And the Anti-Mage might fall as well. He's about 1 hit away. Open Wounds does come out, but he does get away, and the DK TP's out right in front of their faces as well. Ice Charge does come out, barely does miss. He is going to pop the Shrine and probably leave here in a little bit, about half HP. Another Urn, or Spirit Vessel rather, comes out. Snowball does come out as well, and he is going to blink away, but he's getting quite low. He needs to look out for the Sunstrike. The Furion is going to TP out as well, but here comes the Manta Style. Orca does hit on the right hero. Sprout comes out as well, and he will fall. He does have a buyback, though. Mid-Rax is going down now. Lifestealer and Invoker saying, let's get those objectives. Dragon Tail onto the Lifestealer. Not doing quite enough damage. Tornado is a little bit off the mark. I hear an Orchid on the background on the Anti-Mage, but just to push them away so they can get that mid-Rax, and they are trying to get the bottom Rax as well. Sprout, or the Shard Block onto the DK. Sunstrike is going to finish him off. And I did hear a Mana Void on the bottom onto the Nature's Prophet. Doesn't finish him off, and he Shadow Blades away. Tusk will end up falling. And they're just going for Rax. This is a very dangerous play by the Radiant team. I mean, he's going to man up on Stapler Boy, and he might get the kill on him with the Cold Snap as well. Tornado to push the Anti-Mage away from him, but he's stunned, and he might fall. Now, Deafening Blast is going to try the best. Lifestealer does finish off the Ogre, and they, again, don't have detection for this Invoker. And they're going to man up on this Lifestealer. Stomp is going to miss through the Rage. And the Orchid does come out again with the Sprout Block onto the Anti-Mage. Is he going to get away? The burn is not quite enough. Soulblind does come off, and Stapler Boy is going to have a field day. We do see a Stroke of Fate as well, but the Omelet Toggle is going to keep him alive. Inkswell is going to try his best, but Raiders up again. We do see a Sprout onto the Grimstroke in the background as well. And Grimstroke will fall. Elder Titan might fall as well. Another Orchid coming out, and not quite enough. Didn't have enough mana for the open wounds. And Anti-Mage is not going to be scared here. We know Orchid's off cooldown. In another 10 seconds, Manta Style comes out, but he does juke the blink, which is quite good for him. Sprout to kind of push him away as well. So that was very dangerous for the Radiant team. I mean, they went for some... They tried to get everything. They tried to get, you know, Megas there. Only ended up getting the mid-Rax. And is that a ranged Rax with 10 HP? It is.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
So that was dangerous for Radiant. Even though they were trying to go for this high-value play, getting everything at once, they put themselves in such a bad position, not having the buyback on the Furion or the Invoker. So they are quite fortunate to have not lost either of those heroes. So Radiant do get a lot out of that team fight, though, up to a 10k lead at this point. We just do a Blink Walrus Punch onto the Ogre with the Shards Block as well, and the Sunstrike as well to couple it up, and we're going to see Furion teleport in the back line to finish him off. And they're going to try and finish off this top lane of Rax here. Let's check buyback now. We still have 3 minutes without buyback on the Invoker and the Furion, so still danger zone for the Radiant team. Anti-Mage did have the buyback in the last fight, so that's going to be on cooldown for about another 5 minutes. Another Blink Walrus Punch onto the DK with the Rage from the Lifestealer. Soulbind onto, and we do see the Anti-Mage go in the background and get a huge Mana Void, killing the Furion. We do see Tusk falling as well. BKB on the DK doing so much work, finishing off the Lifestealer, not quite. He does infest into the Golem, and he's trying to run away, but the Dragon Tail on the Golem to keep him in place. This Lifestealer is probably going to fall in the background. Huge Cataclysm coming out, does get the DK very low, but not quite dead. Radiant Courier coming out and dying with the Deso, so that's going to be big. A bash on the Invoker. Open was coming out, but he does use the Spell Shield. The DK stun as well on top, and they do lose the Lifestealer there. Sentry coming out a little bit too late to not be able to finish off the Invoker. He will Ghost Walk away, so huge win for the Dire team, cutting the lead in half to about 5k now. Furion dead for about a whole nother minute, same as the DK. So let's see if they can get anything accomplished out of that team fight win. They didn't even lose the 10 HP range draft. Are you kidding me? What? 10 HP. One tree ant could have gone in there and smacked it.
Double damage.
DK did a lot of work with his BKB in that fight. Still hoping he gets his blink to kind of couple up with the Anti-Mage. And this Invoker's dead. Mana Void does get canceled by the Tornado, and I am wrong again. Not the first time I'm wrong this game. Might not be the last time either, folks. Invoker did make a little bit of a small play there. A big play with a small play. Give him one of those. Tornado canceled the Mana Void. Before he was able to Ghost Walk away, he juked around the tree, making sure the Anti-Mage didn't have enough vision to be able to finish casting his Mana Void there. We do see an Inkswell that is going to pop onto the Tusk before they can finish off the Ogre, but he is going to end up dying to the Wrath of Nature. We do see... Oh my. Okay, we do see a... I'm gonna comment on that in a little bit. We see a DK stun onto the Furion in the background. He doesn't have Silver Edge for a little bit. Inkswell is going to keep him in place with the Sprout. And is Radiant team throwing? So there was a Soulbind, and then there was a Mana Void, and then there were two heroes that used to be there, and they still don't have buyback for another 40 seconds. The Tusk is going to buy back himself, but that's 70 seconds without Invoker, and 50 seconds without Natures. I mean, Warlock buys back as well, but he doesn't have another Golem for about 15 seconds. I mean, maybe they're respecting the buybacks, thinking they might have it up, but it's still another 30 seconds. And are they really not going to get a single objective out of this? They do see a Dragon Tail come out onto the Lifestealer. Elder Titan ulti is going to come out, but it's not going to get anyone. He tries to turn around. Armlet toggles with the Walrus Punch on top. Phantom does come out onto the Tusk, and they're going to get the stun onto the Warlock before the Golem comes out. I did hear the base almost get dropped, but it wasn't quite there. Dragon Tail, quick fingers coming out from the DK. Tier 3 Tower does come down mid lane. Tusk is in no man's land, making a lot of space, but he will end up falling, and that's a dieback on him. Elder Titan falling pretty low to that Spirit Vessel, but he should be fine. How much is the Dire team going to get on this? Radiant team is going to finish... guys... Furion? Hello? I mean, Dire team is just getting on top of these heroes and killing them in an instant. Lifestealer already down to about 2/3 HP, turns on the Armlet, gets up his HP to about 90%, and they will push Anti-Mage back. And Dire team has already gotten all that they really need from this mid lane, but here comes Invoker with the Tornado, and that's going to end up killing both the Ogre as well as the Elder Titan, and they stayed a little bit too long. I mean, they'd already gotten the racks. I don't know what they really else needed to what else they needed to accomplish there. So probably just a little overzealous thing. they were riding a high off that momentum, and then reality came and slapped them right in the face. I think that the Dire are in quite a good position right now. I mean, Radiant only has a buyback onto their Invoker right now. and everyone else doesn't have it. I mean, Lifestealer has it in about 900 gold, but man, oh man, oh man. I mean, that's just... Cataclysm does come out and does a little bit of damage onto the DK. Probably just scouting them out, seeing if they have a Roche available. And this is what the Radiant needed to do about 15 minutes ago. They need to get an Aegis onto this Invoker ASAP. I have a gut feeling that they're going to put it onto the Lifestealer, but I would much prefer it onto the Invoker. Yeah, and Lifestealer's already opening up a space. I don't agree with this. I think that Invoker is a way more important hero for the Radiant team than the Lifestealer, but I mean, maybe they are thinking of something that I'm not. He does end up getting his Deso after the Courier respawns. That's good for him. Abyssal Blade coming out onto the Invoker. Abyssal Blade coming out onto the Anti-Mage. I'm sure it will be coming on the Invoker in about 5 minutes from now in the next team fight, if you catch my drift. I don't necessarily agree with the Invoker going an Octarine core. I think that he would have been much better suited with a Lincoln's. Because I mean, you have to understand, as an Invoker, you're facing an Anti-Mage. You know he's gonna get an Abyssal. Why not be proactive and get a Lincoln's? Fight coming out top lane, and the Anti-Mage is going to go right in the background and Abyssal on the Warlock. He's going to fall very quickly. DK does blink in, get a Dragon Tail onto the Furion, and that should be a dieback. No vision, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Stomp does come out, and they do finish him off. Okay. Dieback onto the Nature's Prophet, and he's down for about 110 seconds. Thank God that 10 HP Rax finally fell. Catch a couple item updates here. We do see a 4-staff and an Aethelint on the Grimstroke. Elder Titan has a Crimson Guard up, and he did end up going an Echo Saber, trying to do as much damage as possible, I'm guessing. I think that I would have preferred... Is this Lifestealer dead? He just got... He is very dead. Yeah, you don't have mana to infest that, my friend. Oh, what a waste of an Aegis, dude! Tornado does come out onto 2. Elder Titan ulti is going to put him down to about half HP. Tornado and the Deafening Blast is going to push them away. And Lifestealer, did you really just go back in and just throw your life away? I am so triggered right now.
Got it.
Alright, so they did Roche, and then they lost their Aegis. I mean, yeah, I'm probably giving this Lifestealer too much shit as a caster, but that was just a bad play. I mean, you're trying to kill their shrine with no vision. I mean, yes, you have vision here. Great. But you don't have vision here. You don't have vision here. You have no vision to show where they would be coming at you from. I mean, at least Lifestealer was able to farm out the money he needed for a buyback. I don't know why he's waiting. There you go. He goes up, ends up using it, but they don't have a Furion for another 20 seconds. Fort does come out, so that's going to be their Fort timer. So if Radiant loses another fight, that's it. Tornado does come out with the Chaos Meteor on top. Gets blink stunned by the DK, and if they get the Abyssal, this guy's very dead. The Soulbind comes out, and the Abyssal hits 2! The Invoker's dead, but he does have buyback. The BKB is coming out onto the Anti-Mage. He is at about half HP, gets a bash onto the Warlock. Deafening Blast does keep him alive for now. It does hit the DK as well, and they're going to finish off the Warlock. He has already used his Golem. The Anti-Mage does fall, does use his buyback as well. Elder Titan falling low as well. He should fall to the Spirit Vessel with the attacks as well. Getting very low, about 100 HP, and Warlock smacks him down. The Furion does go in the background trying to get the DK, who will sidestep the Tornado as well. Anti-Mage is coming back as well. Radiant team needs to be very careful right now. Inkswell as well comes out. The Lightshare is trying to go for the DK. Very tanky boy himself. Anti-Mage is probably not scared right now. He doesn't have his BKB up. Icewell to try and thwart their efforts. And they're going to finish off the illusions. Anti-Mage looks like he wants to go in on this. They are going to use Open Wounds onto the Ogre in the background. They are going to get a Walrus Punch on the Anti-Mage as well. He tries to go in the background, but there is no one there. Spirit Vessel to try and push him away. Phantom is going to be killed from the Invoker, and Anti-Mage knows how to win this game. He is going right for that Invoker. They do get the kill with the Orchid and the Sprout onto the Ogre there, and they do get a Tornado with the Cold Snap onto this Invoker. They missed the Radio Deafening Blast, the Walrus Punch on the top, and that's a dieback. That's a team wipe with a dieback on the Anti-Mage. He's dead for 120 seconds.
Nothing so trivial could ever stop.
Man, this game is very back and forth right now. I mean, oh my goodness. Buyback on Grimstroke. They still do have a buyback on the DK and the Elder Titan if they need it, but he will be alive in about 20 seconds.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Both buybacks do come out. Other Titan thinking it's not worth saving it. They do use their Fortify as well. We'll see if they are able to hold this. Lifestealer is by himself. Never mind, the Tux does blink in with a Walrus Punch. Tag team as well. Soulbind does come out on both of them. Cataclysm does come out. They do avoid all the damage. DK does pop his BKB, and he is going for the Lifestealer. Excuse me, that's the Tusk. And the Furion is at about 1/3 HP. I do see the dust come out, but it doesn't smack him. Tornado does come out onto just the DK. Invoker is here with the Chaos Meteor on top. He is falling a little bit. Dust comes out from the Elder Titan as well. Radial Deafening Blast pushes them all away. Fatal Bonds is doing a lot of damage, and it looks like they're going to go for the Megas here. Elder Titan is going to fall, I think, to the open wounds here. One more hit away, and he is not quite going to get him. They do have Mega Creeps. Anti-Mage coming back to life in about 45 seconds. Will they be able to hold this? DK does come out and gets immediately orchestrated before he gets the Blink stun off. Falling to about a 30 HP. Tornado comes out with the Ice Wall as well. And DK falls. That's dead for 2 minutes, and this might be game. This might be game. One tier 4 tower goes down. The second one as well. They don't have Fortify. Another 20 seconds for the Anti-Mage. And that's game over. Radiant is going to win this game, and they're going to have a celebratory double Golem cast on the top. That game was very, very back and forth. Very, very back and forth, and the Radiant team ended up pulling it out. Very, very close game by both sides. Man, a lot of up and down with that graph. I mean, even at this point, I mean, it's 30 minutes in. I mean, 12K is quite a bit for 30 minutes, but like, it's not an insurmountable lead. I mean, it went all the way down to 7K at that point, which is still, it's really not that much. And back up it went. I mean, this was a tale of buybacks coming out and then, you know, getting picked off. I think that the Radiant team could have made this a lot easier on themselves. They were getting a lot of pickoffs early. They got 3 kills onto the DK early. They were getting the rotation kills with the Furion. He got a really quick Orchid. I mean, they had a lot of momentum whenever Anti-Mage got his Battle Fury, which is about right here. And right when they won this fight, they had a lot of momentum, and I think they threw it away. I mean, right after this fight, I think they should have gone to get Roche, put the Aegis onto Invoker, and I think that this would have kept going up, and I don't think this would have ever gone down. I'm actually very surprised that Radiant ended up winning this game, given that they put the Aegis onto the Lifestealer and he immediately threw it away. But props to them for sticking it out. They got the kills where they needed to. And I really think that... So I gave a little bit of shit to Radiant team. I'm going to give shit to the Dire team now. DK, what are you doing getting a Sanjin Yasha first item? Like, baby, what is you doing? You get a Blink Dagger first item on Dragon Knight, and then you have this amazing way to be able to initiate on the back lines. That way Anti-Mage can follow it up. I mean, sure, on one hand, like, you have the ability to snowball save someone that's dragon-tailed by Tusk, but he wasn't really going for those plays. I'll give him credit where credit's due. I mean, he made a lot of plays, getting a lot of kills for his team early, and I'm sure that he could have done a snowball save had he required one. But like you saw later in the game, whenever Anti-Mage would get on that Invoker, he'd be fucking done. Be fucking donezo. So I don't agree with the Sanjin Yasha first. I was fine with the BKB considering the amount of disables that the Radiant team had with Snowball, Orchid, Open Wounds, all of these things. You know, Invoker has the kitchen sink. So BKB was fine, but I would have loved to have seen a Blink BKB by him. I think they could have done a lot of work with that. Other than that, I mean, very back and forth game. Radiant end up coming out on top. That's going to do it for the cast today, though. Again, just like last time, give me any constructive criticism in the comments. I read every comment that is posted on my videos, even if there's only one. I know some of my videos don't get any, and that's perfectly fine. But if you do have any constructive criticism for me, again, I do want to get better genuinely for you guys. That way the cast can be more enjoyable to listen to. If you want me to kind of criticize the teams less, let me know, and I'll definitely do that. And whenever I say, like, I'm giving them shit, it's more so just constructive criticism kind of masked as, like, a, you fucked up. But, I mean, we all fuck up. But if you want me to criticize the teams or, like, people in-game less, let me know. And I'll definitely take that to heart and kind of make sure I do that less as needed. So, that game felt a lot longer than 39 minutes, I will say that much. But that's going to do it for this cast. And I will catch you guys next time.